Hey guys, welcome to the introduction to 2099. I suppose we should start by introducing what 2099 is fundamentally. And Darkness can cover that better than me, so hit it off.
Alright, Iron Darkness, also known as Eternal Carnage. Basically, to go into it, 29 is basically a custom format. It combines a limited pool of the TCG cards alongside user-submitted custom cards in order to really create a really great and diversified format that really shakes the game and brings the brings the game of Yu-Gi-Oh into a new light. The way that 2099 plays out is very much a lot esque to the Task Force games, and really any of the Yu-Gi-Oh, the classic Yu-Gi-Oh video games in general, like Stairway to Destiny, Destiny Duel, and Spirit Color. And this sort of game feel is very much an intention and very much, in my opinion, what makes 2099 very unique in its ways. And as a result, though, there are several terms in lingo that need to be clarified and brought about and discussed, which is what this intro video is for. And so I think the first of these that we should discuss is the most important of these, which would be portal points, aka PP. Portal points. This would be your currency for 2099. This would use the portal points to in the shops for packs, structure decks, and then for you can purchase already submitted archetypes with them, and you can also purchase submission tickets. Now, to redeem portal points, there are many ways to do this. First off, when you start up for 2099 and you apply in the registry, you have to apply to the accounting thread, in which from there you redeem your starting 1,000 portal points and a submission ticket.
On interrupting you real quick. For the former DYCCG members, just contact me, and I will cover that personally and port over your points from DYCCG, so you'll have a little bit extra from what you've already done. Continue.
All right, thank you for that, Roland. That was much needed and something that I had actually forgot to mention. That being said, with your starting points, it's rather straightforward. You have a bit of options there, but of course, probably the most thing you're looking more forward to is just submitting your own cards in. To which, I guess we go into the next topic, which is your submission ticket that you acquire. Now, this is what you use to submit archetypes. You get a max of 15 cards when submitting these, and when you first walk into the 29 card submission thread through which you submit these, you'll notice that there's a format into which you write these, in which you write your cards out, and which from there you fill that out. Your cards accordingly, and then you post it in the thread, and then the three judges for 2099 will go over them. These are Dark Fireblade 2-5, Toyo, and then myself, Eternal Carnage, for which we will look over. And if we think your cards are balanced and well-rounded, will give the word of acceptance, and they'll come about. We find them to be either overpowered or underwhelming. I'll kind of bring that about to you personally, and we can talk about these in order to make this stuff work a bit. And that's where I say it's and that's why I say it's kind of key to get those cards to be more of a fit. But I also will emphasize too that also you don't need to submit 15, even though 15 is the max. Actually, the average submission is closer to about 11 or 12 when I did the counting. And so sometimes less is more, and trying to make those make the overall really come into shape and liven up. Roland, do you have further to say on that?
Yes, I do. For some people, they really don't want less to be more. They just want more. But I would like to note that for all the archetypes that have come in so far, even from the DYCCG, the cards have come in under that 15 really easily once we went through everything and made it work the best it could. But if that's just not for you and you can't do just 15, you can just buy another submission ticket and submit another 15 for your archetype. It's stackable. You can buy more than one for more.
Yes, that is correct. And actually, the Sequencer will have options to which you can purchase smaller templates, which if say you finish the tournament and you just want to toss in a few new cards to make your deck a little bit more interesting, you can toss that in and you'll have all that good to go. And so to which I guess past that we also there's also I guess the next thing we got to talk about is submitting cards that are not archetype, and for which we talk about generic card submissions.
Before we do so, just clarifying, you enter with 1,000 portal points and one submission ticket already, and a submission ticket costs 1,000 portal points. Now we continue.
All right. Okay. Now we go on here. With submitting generic cards, this is actually where it gets interesting. You still go into the 499 card submission thing. You fill it out like it shows on the thing. We prove. If not, we talk about that. But one of the great things about submitting generics is instead of having to pay to submit those, it technically is we pay you to submit those. However, there is a limit, and which is a stricter one than the one of submitting archetypal cards to 2099. For generic card submissions, you only get 10 cards per format, which per format would mean like when there's a major pack released, from there, like cards, the format resets to which you can submit 10 more generic cards. I'll frequently be checking the submissions to approve cards and all, and there probably will be a good amount of new cards, and as I said, you'll be able to make your contributions and all. So talking about set of payments. All right. So when you get that when your card is accepted, it's put in more than like your card gets put into the single shop, and from there you get your card gets labeled a rarity, and from there the rarities determine how much portal points you get. If the card is a common in the shop, it is 12. You get 12 portal points. If it's a rare, you get 25. If it's a super, you get 100. It's gonna be you get 50. If it's ultra, you get 125. If it's a secret, you get 250. Now from there, you double the amount of portal points you get. That's how much you got for that card. That's how much your card is in the shop. I guess we should get to that now. Roland, do you have any comments on your end?
I would like to note that people can... Okay. Well, The submission tickets, when you do that, you get a playset of each card that you submit, but other people can also buy that archetype's submission ticket, or just buy a ticket for that archetype, where they'll also get a playset of all the cards that you submitted on that ticket for 1,000
yes,
points.
Unlike those, with the generic submissions, when you submit them, you do not get a copy of those cards yourself, in which you actually have to buy them in the shop. Which is further why I encourage people to rather innovate, look for the best design in their cards to really make that high quality value card, into which really earns you the portal points to get what you're looking for, and also these cards really help keep the format going in cycle. And so I think from there, I guess we go to the single shop. Roland, I'll let you save me some breaths here and go on this one.
Well, the singles shop, quite simply, is after you do all your generic submissions, the cards will go there, and every when you submit it, you get points based on rarity, right?
Correct.
Well, how much do you get for each rarity? No, how much does each rarity cost in the submissions?
As I elaborated on earlier, you get equal to the half of the rarity, half of the value of the card in the shop. Commons are worth 25 portal points, to which you get 12 from 12 submitting a common. If it's a rare, you get 25, and it's 50 in the shop. If it's a super rare, you get 50, and it's worth 100 in the shop. If it's an ultra rare, it's worth 250 in the shop, and you get 125 portal points. And if it's a secret rare, it is worth 500 portal points in the shop, and then you get 250 portal points in your receipt. In which I should also mention that such receipts are sent to me to view via the YCM user. I will PM it to your account, and to which from there you take a snapshot using the program on your computer or using your phone or whatever, and you paste that snapshot into the accounting thread, into which you redeem your portal points from there.
And also get your card.
Yep. And Ron, continue on.
One of the things to note here is that there will be quite a few cards that you want. And you really have to perfect your deck build first before you start buying cards willy-nilly, so you don't mess up and just be out of points. Now on to packs, I believe?
Yes, and actually I was elaborating the thing earlier. I also mentioned that a great thing to do before purchasing in the single shop is really just to test. And this also, I also think this is important too for determining designing your archetype in general, what you want to work with it. And so I think taking that into consideration and really putting that to work is good for not only not only archetypal submissions, but also to make quality generic submissions as well. This is the essence into what frequently makes up the best of users in here, and to which gain several secrets or ultras. And so yes, packs. And so for packs, I get it's rather straightforward. Packs they come in basically two different formats. They either come in this smaller form, such as 60 cards, and then for then there's the bigger ones, which are 100. Pull either way, both of them. You pull them, you get a 9-card set. When you go in the shop, there's like all of this stuff, there's a format at the top into which you in which you follow your post in. You post that. Sakura will PM you what you pull out of your pack, and then he'll also message self-destruct button and Roland, into which then they record what cards you have in the database thread.
Yes.
And Roland, do you want to make a comment about the database thread? Since we're talking about it right now.
Not really.
I guess the main thing I wanted to point out is that like you can frequently check the card that you can use this you can use the card database thread in order to check the cards that you own and what cards are available. And with packs coming out frequently and there being a lot of new cards coming in, I do realize it can be overwhelming at times, which is why the card database thread is a beautiful thing, and we are working on, and we have always taken the time to bring it to the best of quality.
In fact, I do have one thing I want to say. I will shortly be attempting to work with Self-Destruct Button to reorganize how it's set up a little bit, so that it is way easier to go in there and find what you're looking for. Like, if you're looking for a TCG card and you want to know if it's in 2099, well, first of all, you'll be able to look in the alphabetized search, if you know the name of the card, and find out, hey, is this in here? Let's say you're looking for Dark Rebellion. You go to D, go to DA if there's that many Ds, and then you'll have a little list. And look, okay, Dark Rebellion is in here. Click on it. There's the picture. You can see what it does, what its effect is, and then you'll move out. Okay, what set is it in? Now here it gets a little trickier. You just got to check each set for it on the list, like you would in real life.
Sometimes you have to really check this on the set ID. Probably what I'll do is I'll include like an image of the full pack, and I'll have like I'll have like this ID, and which will make things a lot easier. Like say with Dark Rebellion Exceeds Dragon, as Roland is going on with the pack that it is Path to Destiny. So you would see the PODN, and so which you'll be able to search PODN, and from there you'll see the Path to Destiny.
Yes, which will be probably a lot better as more and more cards get into the database. Now on to something that I actually have more input on, the port over packs. The idea here is DYCCG had this huge 1,500 plus card database that we had in addition to the TCG pool, and we just pulled cards from there to use them. And you'd be able to submit 15 a week. It doesn't matter what it was, and you could throw it in there. So it got pretty big pretty fast. Now, rather than just dump it all into 2099, which wouldn't work, we're doing port over packs. Now, what this actually applies as is people who were in DYCCG now have another option in addition to the normal generic submissions and template submissions. The cards will gradually be ported over into a template which they can buy if they already submitted it, just like they would for a normal submission, but separate. They'll still have to buy the cards like anyone else, but they don't have to go through the hassle of resubmitting it when they were already submitted into the database. And the same will be true of the generics, which these port over sets are actually sets that include large amounts of cards from DYCCG and bringing them over in the normal 60 or 100 depending on how much we're wanting to bring in at that time. And this will be included as a part of your normal pack cycle.
Yes, and it's definitely a beautiful thing that we have to have this sort of process, and I believe we're doing it now. I think we're doing. I believe we're importing about 20 in this set. Though it can vary depending on the amount And so if you have a card that was previously in DYCCG and you want to bring that up, I suggest you UPMS WeChat, and we'll see about getting it. And then if changes need to be made, we can do that. And then from there we kind of take it from the ground up. And this really has been a great thing. I've loved working with these cards. Like I worked with Roland. I worked with Luke, and then I worked with Ricky. All three on archetypes. And these were just these were good, like a bit of a process, but they ended up in with quite the sets within them. And even though it was a bit tedious, kind of breaking it down and all at times, but it really turned out a satisfying product, and I'm really glad that I have the opportunity to work with DYCCG and bring along some of the stuff in, and even though as I said, even though some of it needs work, I mean. There's a lot of interesting ideas coming down, and that's where I really encourage this. And I'll mention it too. I mean, like if you have stuff that you're kind of unsure about, or if you're thinking about like dropping this into the thread or in the generic submissions, and you're not sure what you're on about, you can drop it in the thread, and if I'm not too busy, I'll make my comments on it. And I'll assume that's the same for Roland.
Yes, and additionally, if you want cards to be ported over in an upcoming set that were in DYCCG, and you just have a list of cards that you really want in 2099 now, you can either submit them normally or request it to me, and then I will put it forward for the next port over pack.
Yeah, and that's where he kind of or Roland will bring that stuff over to me, and we'll kind of sit around by the fire and discuss, and we go from there. And so I guess the next thing we go to go about is actually what if you don't have an archetype to work with, and
yes.
to which case you get a structure deck,
which are pre-built for tournaments, unlike in the normal Konami sense.
Yes, structure decks are, I mean, it's rather straightforward. You purchase them, and then you get the card they want. They're geared toward a certain theme, and they'll provide you whatever. I think one of the biggest difference between the real Konami format and this format is really the quality of the structure. It's really the quality of the structure decks. I feel like that's one of the big things that really stands out when I look at this, because you really get like a really high amount. You get 40 cards, and then you get a 15 card structure deck. Or if it's like not really that much base of extra, you probably only get like 5 or 10. You'll still get like really good options. Like there's actually cards that are like secret or ultra that have made it into this set just because like these are. They're not meant to be over the line, but they're like really meant to be fully functional and high quality decks.
Tournament ready, if you will. And that's about everything we have to explain for buying cards, getting cards in, and basically the nitty-gritty of how 2099 works, which is the main question everyone has been having recently.
The big thing, I should emphasize, though, structure decks, not only do they cost us the same amount as templates, which is 1,000 porta points, you can also turn in a submission ticket and instead purchase a structure deck. You can use that same submission ticket that you get at the start and get a structure deck to really get yourself going, into which I think is a really great method to easily get yourself involved in 2099.
Yes, and with that, we'll go ahead and wrap this up, and you should see this on either the 13th or 14th, and I'll spread this around.